So someone on my recent video ended up trolling me for using too many filler words, specifically like. That was something that I actually didn't really have too much of a problem with in the past because I was using a lot, and then I tried to rid myself of using and then somehow like took over and that became my next verbal tick. So I'm going to try to rid it from my habit maybe, and hopefully it'll be better in this video and you won't have to hear it a lot. So anyways, onto the trip. I ended up having another DMT experience this night as well. And it happened at like 5 a.m. It's like 7:30 now, so I didn't even get to sleep. I just had the trip and then drew like a drawing of what I saw or specific visual elements that I want to talk about. And yeah, now I'm right here. So I'm going to get into that right now. I'll basically start off with what I smoked and everything. So this was actually some of the purest like crystal that I've smoked in a while. Like it was crystal clear, very very white crystal, and the dose actually wasn't too heavy. I didn't think I needed too much because it was so potent and so it was so pure. The last one that I smoked had a bit of the pure stuff in it, but some of it was darker stuff, so I ended up smoking more, but it ended up being a little bit more aggressive and more scary. This time it was very recreational and fun and something that was very uplifting in terms of making me feel good, I think. And anyways, I smoked it and then the visuals came on pretty quickly, and I remember that I was in these I was looking at this weird entity that started to morph into a bed. Like it looked like a scary monster under a bed, but it was like on the bed and became the bed, so it was just like a spooky ghost kind of thing that just didn't have any sort of negative intentions to me or anything like that. It just was trying to show me like spooky stuff, and I thought it was cool. Like I didn't even find it scary or anything, and I didn't find myself being like bombarded with visuals like last time, or like slapped with them in a sense that it was getting to be like too much or whatever. Like this time it was just a very smooth ride for me. It was very entertaining and very pleasant to experience. And I remember that after I was looking at that weird bed monster thing, the trip started to morph into an actual room of some sort, and it kind of looked like an ancient room, and this is when the geometry started to get really apparent. So there's a lot of alien kind of geometry that was also very like sacred geometry, so like all of those sacred patterns that you look at, like I wasn't seeing the Fibonacci sequence right now, but I was seeing very strange sort of spiraling cube-like geometry that also had faces inside of it. So the actual faces are they kind of give off the impression of like clowns of some sort, or it's like some sort of heavily grinning creature. I can't really explain what it is, but it's just something that blends well with this geometry that I'm looking at. I feel like they go together really well, and it creates an aesthetic that I try to capture in my artwork. And in this strange sort of room, something very strange happened, very uncommon for me, and this is me actually hearing like music. I was hearing actual alien music. It was kind of like an EDM thing. Like there was this weird sort of like wow wow beat, and then it started to morph into like this crazy music, and like it was something that I haven't even heard before. It was something that was kind of like some alien version of dubstep, or it wasn't even dubstep really. It was probably like some sort of drum and bass or even electronic music. I can't really explain what it was, but it was just something that was beyond what we currently have in the repertoire of electronic dance music. And I was thinking, like, my friend is a producer and he does a lot of DJing stuff, and I was actually thinking about saying, like, you know, I should figure out how to get a recording of this and call him up and say, like, you know, that sound you've been looking for, well, listen to this. But then afterwards, I was seeing the last part of the trip, which was just this chrysanthemum that was a similar type of geometry and face clown thing that I was talking about before. And I actually made a drawing or a sketch of it when I came out, just to get like a better depiction of it. I wanted to show the kind of wavy interweaving kind of thing that it had going on, because it would just go on forever. Like, I got a very basic representation of what I'm trying to convey here, but the actual image that I saw went on for like a while, so there was a lot more to it, but I just got down the very basics of it. Even though it's pretty basic, it actually turned out reasonably well for the time that I spent on it. I just wanted to capture the actual elements that I see and the type of clown geometry quality that is going on. It's something that I would never be able to just explain with just words. So this is why I need a visual representation to show you guys the actual feeling, because there's an actual there's an aesthetic or a style that gives off this feeling that this is like some alien thing, but it's also very spiritual and very sacred. It's such a bizarre thing, but I definitely want to keep trying to capture the visuals and expand on it. Like, if I had more time to draw like a better depiction, than what I've usually been doing, I think I would have a better time trying to explain it to you guys. But I've been doing it at like a very late time, usually like around 3 or 5 p.m. So it's very hard for me to actually be awake enough and coherent enough to actually draw things and make it look good instead of just scrawlings and scribbles. I'm a lot better drawer when I can actually concentrate and I'm not like tired and stuff. Like right now, I haven't had sleep for like 2 days. Well, not a lot of sleep, so like one of my eyes is like bloodshot right now. So I'm definitely trying to get all this information to you guys as well as I can, and hopefully you guys can appreciate it. I'm sure you guys do. But yeah, that was pretty much what I experienced. I've never had an actual extreme audio hallucination like that actually became complex music. I actually was starting to doubt that was possible, but now I just have a lot more respect for DMT. Like, even though I've always had incredible respect, I just didn't know that there was a lot of things that you could draw from it. I didn't know that you can actually, not just get inspired visually, but also sonically. So I want to see like what I could possibly get inspired by, because I want to work with my friend who's a producer and start making like piano type EDM style stuff. And it was just a very coincidental thing that I was experiencing a new perspective on this trip, which is the audio version, which I've never been really open to. And it might even be because maybe I haven't been paying attention to it, so subconsciously I thought, hey, I might as well pay attention more to the audio stuff. But this also could have been that it was just very pure, so it got the most out of it, because I felt like the visual quality was a lot more enhanced because the purity was so good. And I think that with the high purity, it probably makes more of an experience for the actual audio end of it too. So it overall increases the experience, and it's probably also contributes to like actual feelings and stuff like that as well, like body buzz and everything else. But other than that, I think that's pretty much it on this report. I'm probably gonna do it pretty soon again. Ever since this trip, I've been really excited because it was such an incredible time that I want to try it again. I don't know if I'm going to do it like the next day or whatever. I might want to just let it stay low for a bit so that I don't abuse it, and because I want to respect it, like I don't want to just treat it like something that I use like every day or something like that. But it's not the same kind of drug thing. Like it's not to get high. Like most of the time when I'm doing it, I'm actually afraid to do it, and I'm kind of like trying to psych myself into doing it. But it's hard, like it's hard for me to build up the courage to do it. But also, if I've been doing it more often, then it's easier for me to do it. I feel like I can sit my toes in it a little better. But that's about it, I think. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I will definitely be back to you with another one.